believe it's been over 5 months since Switch 2 released, and we still already know the lineup for the rest of this year and the beginning of next year. But there is a long laundry list of huge games that Nintendo can announce for this console, so I kind of wanted to give my top 10 most anticipated Switch 2 titles. Now, none of these are going to be games that have been announced so far. These are all going to be games that are in the pipeline of dreams for us Nintendo fans of what could actually come to the console. Now, these are going to be in order of how excited I am for these games, but I also have some honorable mentions that I'll mention at the very end. But these are pretty much my wishes and things that I really want to see make it to Nintendo Switch 2, and I'm not just going to say, hey, a new Zelda or hey, a new Mario, without giving reasoning for it. Like, what is that new Zelda or what is that new Mario going to be, and what do I really want it to be? But without further ado, let's get into our number 10. Starting off the list at number 10, we have Splatoon 4. Now, I'm hoping it's not just called Splatoon 4, and in fact is something completely different, and maybe even giving it a little subtitle, kind of like Splatoon Raiders is. I'm very excited for Splatoon Raiders, but since that's already been confirmed to be coming out as a big single-player adventure game, I'm really looking forward to what they're going to be doing with the next big multiplayer game. Now, there's been some kind of talk about how this is pretty much the end of the trilogy and we're moving on to maybe a new trilogy. I would love that. A brand new trilogy with a new world, with new characters, new concepts and mechanics, and just new stories based on new civilizations that are from different regions, hearing their side of the story and how they came to be and stuff in the new world. That would be really exciting. So honestly, I know this could be a lot higher on the list for a lot of people, but I'm just wanting them to cook with this game, you know, and that's weird coming from me. But of all games, of all upcoming Nintendo projects, I want this one to be the most baked because I want it to last a while. Like, I want this game to come out and have years and years of content and updates and stuff keeping the community engaged. I want them to really take their time with new weapons, new stages, and really just cook up the best Splatoon game they possibly can. Now, of course, we are getting a big single-player Splatoon game, but I still want to see some single-player content here. It can be pretty much what it has been for a while now. Since Splatoon Raiders is probably going to be giving us a deeper story and gameplay-wise, I think they can pretty much just keep doing with their, you know, little missions and obstacle courses they've been doing with the first 3 games. Having a little story of its own, you know, a main antagonist and stuff would be pretty cool. Number 9, I have a new Star Fox. It was actually kind of sad to see, like, a lot of people say the best Star Fox game was from Battle of Atlas, which wasn't even a Star Fox game, it just included those characters. So I really need Nintendo to lock in and make a really good Star Fox game. They completely skipped the Switch era with no Star Fox games. I just feel like this shouldn't be too difficult. Stop trying to remake Star Fox 64 over and over and over again. Come up with a new unique story, maybe even a new villain. If you're going with Andross again, make it a unique, new, interesting story with tons of levels, not just a little handful that you can beat in a couple of hours, tons of branching levels and planets to reach as well again, and just overall make it feel like a huge AAA project with tons of effort poured into it, with tons of mechanics and awesome online battle mode and stuff that you can play with other people and our friends. I think Nintendo would absolutely be successful with this. They just have to put in that effort. It can't be treated like a side project. It can't be treated like a AA or even a single A game. This has to have the effort of a new 3D Mario, a new Zelda, for it to be, you know, huge for the masses. They really have to put in time and effort into this. And I feel like after skipping 8 years of Nintendo Switch, what better way to come into Switch 2 than with a huge Star Fox game? Number 8, I have Luigi's Mansion 4. Now, a couple of years ago, I probably would have said this might have even been a top 3 wish of mine, but I think I was so satisfied with Luigi's Mansion 3. I'm just really just so unbelievably thankful for that game and what it actually did for the franchise. So they can honestly take their time with Luigi's Mansion 4 and they could just cook up something really, really fun and interesting. I don't really have expectations for it either. I mean, I would like it to have maybe a little bit more open-endedness, kind of like the first game, allowing us to explore maybe another huge mansion or something. But I wouldn't even be mad if they did something like a haunted boat, a train, a mall, a museum, or a slew of other things it could be. So honestly, I know Next Level Games is cooking right now. It's been a while since Luigi's Mansion 3, so I do feel like 4 is on the horizon, and I am going to be extremely excited with pretty much whatever it ends up being. I just hope maybe they fix some of the lighting things, make it a little bit more darker, more creepier, kind of like the first game, and I think they're going to cook with whatever they come up with. Coming in at number 7, I have Kid Icarus. In any capacity, really, I mean, I would love a new game, and how awesome would that be? But I feel like the best bet right now is for Nintendo just to lock in and give us Kid Icarus Uprising Remake, Remaster, HD. I don't really care. I just would love to see Kid Icarus again. It would give me hope for the franchise and what they could actually keep doing with it in future installments, because man, a new game could give us even more cool cutscenes and funny character interactions and even new like god characters to pull from and tons of new weapons, a return of a new fun online mode to play with other people, because it was a great online mode in Kid Icarus Uprising, more challenges through like new challenge walls and stuff for us to complete, and of course having new controls instead of having to use the stylus and our hands cramping on the screen. This could honestly be peak if Nintendo does this, and that's why I put it at my number 7. Coming in at number 6, I said a new Switch 2 Sports. But listen, this would be called something completely different. Like, I think we need to just throw out the console and the sports thing away. So like no Wii Sports, no Switch Sports, no Switch 2 Sports. Let's do something completely different, something sports. Maybe like it's just like Nintendo Sports or something. But it needs to feel like a true successor to Wii Sports Resort. I still think that is the best version of what Wii Sports could ever be. It was filled with tons of sports, tons of like little mini games to play, you know, unlockable stamp missions and stuff, and they actually just poured their heart out into that whole Wii Sports Resort island. You could fly around it with the planes and stuff, and there were secrets to find. I would love if we could actually have a new island like that with tons of new locations where we can actually fly planes and stuff, maybe even run around or walk around it, and maybe that's how we exercise. You can actually like run with the Joy-Con and just like run around the map like you could on like, I think it was like Wii Fit that allowed you to do that back then, but that would be cool. Ride your bike around it again, and just tons of different sports. Make it feel like a AAA experience. No stupid updates. If you're gonna add updates, make it be like cosmetic stuff, or maybe like holiday seasonal things around the map, or maybe they decorate it with Christmas or Halloween decorations and stuff. But for the most part, no updates, no DLC. It's just locked in from the start with tons of sports, tons of things to, you know, dive into with side games, mini games, online modes. But man, I would absolutely love that if it just felt like a Wii Sports Resort 2 in a way. Number 5, we have open world Pikmin. Some people are going to roll their eyes at the, you know, concept of open world Pikmin, but just hear me out. I feel like if any IP from Nintendo is going to get an open world game again, it should be Pikmin, just because of what it would mean for the gameplay. It's about exploring an unknown world and finding unknown creatures in unknown regions. So what better way to do that than to just let us fully explore, have us crash land on the planet and have us, you know, pretty much search the entire new map, a new way that we want. And when we find new locations that we could bring our ship as like a warp point, we can do that. And, you know, maybe there's just ways that, you know, to collect new pieces of your ship and, you know, build it up as you're progressing. And then there's new enemies and creatures you can see from the distance and like, oh my gosh, what is that? And, you know, make your way to the mountains or make your way to the valleys in order to find that creature, or maybe you get like hints on your log as to something nearby. Something like that would be so cool, and it's slowly moving its way up to like my top 3, because I just think that would be such an awesome way to progress the series and do something really ambitious. I love Pikmin 2, and Pikmin 4 moving to that Pikmin 2 style was awesome, but it's time to open up. Give us a Pikmin world, baby. For number 4, I said a brand new Mario Maker with Mario Maker 3 or Mario Maker 3D. Now, I think a Mario Maker 3 with just new 2D styles would definitely work if they just put a lot of effort into new enemies, objects, gizmos, all that jazz. But I still think a dream come true would be just a Mario Maker 3D. Imagine being able to create your own 3D Mario levels. If for some reason the next 3D Mario is fully open world, which I'm not gonna say for some reason because it looks like they are going that way, at least with Bowser's Fury, then that way it gives another game for people to just play linear 3D Mario games or more sandbox 3D Mario games like the classics. You could have a 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, 3D World, and even an Odyssey style, where people could just pretty much make a bunch of obstacles in this area and slap a star somewhere and make a way to get to it. You know, I think that would open up possibilities in a whole new way with that extra dimension, allowing people to create some absolutely insane levels far beyond what the 2D games could do. So I'm really looking forward to eventually getting to something like that if Nintendo ever does. But regardless, I think the next Mario Maker would be something that's definitely on people's minds as to, you know, a big title that they're looking forward to. My third most anticipated game is a Super Smash Bros. Reboot. Yes, I want to see them completely go back to square one. Bring back the roster, make it a lot smaller, but also reboot all those mainline characters, all those original cast characters, make them more mechanically sound, make them feel like DLC characters of themselves. Lots of their updates are so outdated. Mario doesn't even perform like any Mario that I've ever played. So please reboot these characters from the ground up again. Make this feel like a reboot. I also think this game would be so awesome if it had another subspace-like story mode with tons of fun character interactions with the cutscenes and stuff, and maybe Sakurai even allows them to have in-game character reactions and stuff where some characters work better with each other, some work worse, or maybe some of them can team up and have their own special moves together. Could you imagine how cool that would be to play 2v2s if, like, you know, a pair of characters had like specific moves that they could do with each other? Something like that would be awesome, but just really tearing back the game from this gigantic roster concept, breaking it down to be more smaller, but also more detailed, and, you know, just really rebooting this game and starting a new era of Smash Bros. Would be awesome. My second most anticipated game is the next open world Zelda game. Something that finally moves away from the world of Breath of the Wild. Something that gives us a new world outside of Hyrule to explore with deeper, more unique combat would be awesome, because I feel like that's my main gripe with right now with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, is just the combat is too basic with just flurry rush, swinging, 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 flurry rush, swinging, swinging, swinging. So if they actually add some unique combat elements and stuff while also giving us a brand new world to explore with brand new secrets and lore tied to that world, then you've definitely got me. They could even bring back true return of dungeons and items for Link to get through those dungeons that he can use in this open world. And I would even love to see maybe them go super crazy and give us a dark world or a low rule, some type of alternative map to the first one that can be used, kind of like we got with the depths, but, you know, that actually is something unique to go down and look at instead of the depths, because that wasn't. But yeah, either way, another open world Zelda game, of course, is on everybody's minds. It's going to be a while until this game comes out, but I think, like, since Tears of the Kingdom for me at least felt like more Breath of the Wild, especially with the same map, I personally am still scratching that itch since 2017, and I can't wait to see what's next. Before we move on to my number one, I wonder what in the world it could be. Let's move on to my honorable mention, the next Paper Mario game. I am so excited to see what in the world is going to happen, but I'm also very much scared because the 1,000-Year Door gives me hope that they're going to bring back that classic Paper Mario feeling with a, you know, simple but refined battle system, partners, and an original story. But it's Nintendo we're dealing with here. Who knows if that's going to happen? I'm just excited and happy that we got the 1,000-Year Door remake, so this could come or not. Animal Crossing I know is going to be a lot higher for others, but personally I just wasn't that huge on New Horizons. That's kind of one of my first times diving into Animal Crossing. I still put in around 30 to 40 hours, but I am looking forward to seeing what the next game is going to do, hopefully adding some things that might bring me into it a lot more, maybe some more things you can do with your friends online and stuff, and maybe a bigger world where you can build a lot more on it. But personally, yeah, I think the next Animal Crossing is on the top of a lot of people's lists. I absolutely loved Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and I'm excited for the next 3D game, but it's not anything that I like desperately am thinking about. The Forgotten Land was so good, they can take their time, and whatever they do with the next 3D Kirby game, I'll be completely fine with. If it's just the Forgotten Land 2, great. I mean, they could even keep it linear, or maybe even move into an open sandbox, kind of like DK Bonanza or Mario Odyssey. Either one of those I'd be completely fine with, but just having another 3D Kirby makes me excited, and I'm sure it's going to be great. We are getting a new Yoshi game soon with Yoshi the Mysterious Book, but it's not a 3D Yoshi game, unfortunately. I would really love to see a new 3D Yoshi game, or the first 3D Yoshi game, whether it be a 3D Yoshi's Island or a 3D Woolly World style game, something maybe focused on throwing eggs, or something with Yoshi's eggs would be pretty cool, but unfortunately it doesn't look like that's going to be happening anytime soon. Now, this year I finished playing Xenoblade 1 for the first time, so I'm sure a lot of the things that I would want fixed is going to be in the next 2 games, who knows, but, you know, I am still kind of interested in seeing what the next game is going to be. Since Xenoblade 3 seemed to be closing off an arc for the first 3 games, I wonder if they're going to start a brand new one. Is it going to be something completely off the main line, kind of like Xenoblade X? But regardless, I am kind of excited to see if they ever tweak anything with the combat, because that was kind of my only issue, is that the combat was kind of boring, but I know after the first game it gets better and it gets different, so it's hard for me to really touch on anything like this, but still I wouldn't be rolling my eyes at the next Xenoblade, if that makes sense. And my last honorable mention is a brand new Captain Toad. I would love like a Captain Toad world that gives us bigger, more expansive levels full of puzzles. Really dive into that puzzle element, have more bosses, tons of unique boss battles that tie into being taken down via fun puzzles and stuff, but also giving Captain Toad new power-ups and stuff, considering the fact that he can't really do much in the game besides move things around and stuff. He can't jump, his run's not that fast, so I would love to give him power-ups and stuff to make him even more unique that tie into those puzzle elements as well. And of course, my #1 most anticipated game. I mean, unless you literally are under a rock with no technology, have no phone, no computer, no, social media at all, you don't even know who I am, then there's no way you wouldn't have predicted that I would have chose 3D Mario. I am just so excited for this game, and I don't know why. I just keep asking myself, why is it that this 3D Mario, like even before Odyssey, I was so excited for Odyssey and the next 3D Mario game after 3D World, but this one is just different. I don't know why. I think it was because of Bowser's Fury. Bowser's Fury just almost blew my mind with what could actually come from that level design. The fact that you could actually do an open world Mario game and do it justice. Because if you would have asked me before Bowser's Fury if 3D Mario would be the way to go, I'd say probably not. That doesn't really make sense for something like Mario. But Bowser's Fury shows that you can have a giant interconnected multi-biome world for Mario without losing the essence of what Mario is about. It still is filled with platforming challenges, and that's what the open world could be. Could you imagine finally being able to fully explore Peach's Castle again since Paper Mario 64 and Mario 64? Can you imagine fully being able to explore a huge Toad Town for the first time outside of Mario RPGs? Something where we can interact with the Toads, see their day-to-day lives and stuff, and just explore the entire kingdom at our own leisure. From the jungle to the beaches to the snow mountaintops and even to the vast desert, there's so much that they could actually do with the biomes and just filling this world with overworld bosses and tons of little platforming challenges. I mean, this could be by far the best game Nintendo has ever made if they do this correctly, and that's why I just can't stop talking about it. And the fact that it's been since 2017, since Super Mario Odyssey. Yes, we've just had Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's not Mario though. So I do think that the Nintendo Mario team is working really hard at making this the biggest, most expansive 3D Mario we could ever even imagine. That's why it's taking so long. But yeah, I mean, that is just literally where my mind has been on for the last 5 years, and I just can't stop thinking about it because it's so exciting with the implications as to what it could actually mean for Mario and for the franchise, and it could be that big Breath of the Wild moment again that we haven't had in so long. But yes, those are my most anticipated Switch 2 titles. Let me know if any of these resonated with you. Do you agree with any of them? Did I miss anything that you have as your most anticipated? But thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out, and have a blessed day, guys. See ya.